The louder sound is waiting. Silence sometimes speaks a lot more words than a person needs to hear. Imagine a scene which is common, some of us have gone through or may not have gone through. It's a well-lit corridor in a hospital. There is a ICU, authorized personnel only lighting, and there is a red bulb that is glowing in. And that's a surgery that is taking place inside at 2:11 a.m. A family of two people, a mother and a daughter, is sitting and waiting. The tears for the daughter has dried up, and the mother is having a mix of hope and fear all put together. That's a case of an organ transplant taking place. A patient, their father and a husband, has been on dialysis for about 3 years, and a new lease of life through a new donor has come recently, and the surgery is taking place. The surgeon comes out from the operation theater and talks to the family. The surgery has been successful, the transplant is successful, but we don't know until the next few weeks on how successful it went through. The new adoption of the organ through our immune system is something even today science is working towards. And that's the same communication which a surgeon can give. At this point in time, the hopes are high, but end of the day, it's a moments of truth all the players in the healthcare systems have. A pieces of information a surgeon has on how he did the surgery, a pieces of information a lab has, which has just got the blood sample, the tissue samples of the new organ and the patient to understand what is the new acceptability of the new organ. Pieces of information the family has on how the patient has been through in the last 3 years. At this time period, one may imagine the hardest part is money, but no, at this point, no machines, no medicines, something else is the hardest part, which all of them are going through. It's called uncertainty. Nothing is certain at this time. You can be educated, successful, rich, good family, have multiple of resources, but yet at this point in time, anybody who's at that position is powerless in front of something that is uncertain. Now, let me ask you something. How many of you have been through a situation where a medical report mattered most but has not come for a while? Any show of hands? Now, keep a situation where you just felt this result has taken even longer and the results are not yet standardized. The information flow of what should be and can be is still a mystery that people need to solve. Well, that's how healthcare system in the global case were a few years back until the new innovations that are coming up. With the advancements of the new tech of AI, I think everybody is well aware of it. AI has an inherent thing where it can understand thousands and thousands of patterns, much beyond a human capabilities can. The future where healthcare systems, data, genomics, everything puts together and can give you a snapshot, a trailer, and then a movie of how life should be. Where we are today is having a snapshots of our life, a snapshot of how things are and how things can be. We have small trailers that are happening, but nobody has a complete picture of how the life should be or how the life should be lived. Now, I'm asking you, imagine for 2 minutes, close your eyes and imagine your most favorite loved one and their image in front of you. Now ask a question. If that same loved one gets a question that, is it back? Is it spreading? Are we missing something? Is there a new body organ getting rejected? What's happening? Such questions are in the brains of any cancer patient's family, an organ transplant patient's family, an IBD, inflammatory bowel disease family, a woman who is menstruating having an endometriosis. These are the things that goes in. Now, how do we solve that? Is there a map? We have a GPS, right? In the world, we want to get to one point to another point, we have a GPS. We have a maps, Google Maps. But is there a map for our body inside? Well, the answer is there is. Our body is designed in such a way that there are signals coming through it and we just don't know how to hear it. A simple molecule in our body called a DNA, right? The fundamental structure of our body is a DNA. Now, when there are things inside the DNA which gives the specific information in our bloodstream of what's happening to our physiology. Now, one level above, you have cells. When a cell dies, it releases a particular DNA in the bloodstream. It's called circulating DNA or cell-free DNA. And when there is a lot more of cell-free DNA coming out, it tells you that a lot more cells are dying. And when you know a lot more cells are dying, you know, okay, there is something going wrong in our body. That gives the first level signal to understand how our body looks at. Now imagine the same scenario at 12, let's say 3 days after the 2:11 a.m. surgery. And you know for a fact that, okay, we have a very good understanding that this patient's transplant, be it liver or heart or kidney transplant, the patient is in a less risk cohort or a high risk cohort, basis which the therapies can be changed, modulated, and more better care can be done in a matter of 3 to 4 days. I run a company catering to about 6,000 transplant patients today, and we are heading towards building IPs from India to the world. And what we essentially build and what we envision is the systems and processes and unifying all the healthcare data, genomics, epigenetic factors, putting together to understand what's happening to the patient, what is the signals coming from the body so that we can help the patient and their family. Can the healthcare system and the signals that our body throws be not just for the 1 percentile of our population, not just favoring to the rich, but can this be democratized to every human being in the planet? Can it be digitized in such a way that the democratization of the genomics as well as the healthcare system can enable to the grassroots level folks or even help the bottom of the pyramid people? That's the vision that we are looking to build. We are not there yet as systems, when processes on AI are still expensive, genomics are still expensive, but we are getting there. With the advancement of AI happening, I think we should be there in the next 6 to 8 years period. Now coming to the point in terms of how the scene looks like. The patient's now blood sample has come to a particular genomics lab. The patient's family is well aware that the patient is at a less risk cohort, and thereby the longevity of the new organ is much longer, and then continuing to test the patient over a quarterly period can understand how the patient looks like over a period of time. Can the modulation of immunosuppressants or drugs that are given post-surgeries can be lowered to the lowest most level so that there is no side effects of those drugs? That's where the healthcare system looks like. Now stepping one step ahead, in case of IBD or other chronic conditions, even let's say cancer, imagine a world where you can understand a recurrence of cancer is happening or not. Post, let's say, a liver surgery or liver cancer, you can understand if the recurrence is going to happen or not, or how aggressive the tumor is. That's the world where we are going to live in the next year or so. And in terms of the same technology of AI, cell-free DNA, you are able to understand organ-specific aging for anybody and everybody in the room. Imagine you can understand how much cells are dying from your heart or from your liver or from your kidneys, a healthy person, then you understand if there is a lot more cell death happening in the new organ, that basically tells you that the organ, particularly organ is aging faster, the cells are dying faster. So therapies can be guided to that particular organ. That enables a much larger health span conversation that we can have. In terms of, I'm sure people have heard about what's happening in the longevity spectrum in the world. We don't need to live an immortal life, but we can at least live the life we are living at a much better quality of life. The health span can be 80 can be the new 60, or maybe 90 can be the new 60. That's where the conversation will go forward with the advancement of the new technologies of AI, genomics, healthcare information, and how the systems works. This is what we in Acrannolife are building, wherein we build technologies in all these platforms, and using our underlying technology, which is attained the US patent in terms of transplants, to understand and help the patients to live a much better quality of life post-transplant, and thereby for extending towards inflammatory bowel disease, oncology, endometriosis in terms of women's health, and then longevity to help live longer. So this is an innovation that we are building forward. This is a world that we envision. We are well aware of how the world is going to look like. We hope to have an utopian society 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, where economics changes, where income inequality changes, where we are grow beyond caste, gender, and various other biases that surround the population today, where we can build a society of humans who live with respect to each other, who equally build the society with love and harmony for the entire systems, not just for humans, but for animals and plants and every ecology that is there, where the resources are not just worked on scarcity, but on abundance, where the society can have abundance of information, society can have abundance of resources. Let's work together to build a better place, a better world, and head towards an utopian society where people can live in much more harmony together.